At the end of the parsha you read yesterday, Am Yisrael accepted the Aseret HaDibrot. And then we begin this week's parsha, and we see the rest of the mitzvot and the mishpatim being given. And we begin with the laws of slavery. And we must ask ourselves the question, can this really be the first mitzvah that the Torah wants to teach us, the laws of slavery? This question is even further compounded if we look at the beginning of the Aseret HaDibrot. There, God specifically says that He is freeing us from a house of slaves. He's freeing us out of Egypt from a house of slaves. And yet here we have the laws of slaves. Up until then, the Jewish people were slaves in Egypt, and then He frees them from slavery and teaches us the laws of slaves. What actually is the Torah doing? If we look carefully into what the Torah is saying, we'll see that the Torah is actually doing something totally different. The Torah is not teaching us the laws of slavery, only the laws of freeing the slaves. Now, if you imagine the Jewish people at the time, they'd just been slaves in Mitzrayim for many generations. They were freed, and then God teaches them the laws. This is how you free slaves. What a beautiful message. The Torah is teaching us that human beings are not meant to live in captivity. Humans are meant to be free, to make their own choices, to live in dignity. And that was an important first message for the Jewish people to have heard way back on Mount Sinai, and it is still an appropriate lesson for us to learn today. Yoni, you spoke about being proud to accept all the Torah, the yoke of the Torah, and I'm very proud of you for that. But you should know, a yoke on one's neck isn't actually a very pleasant thing. It's something that subdues you and controls you. And unfortunately, many people see Judaism in keeping the Torah in this way, as a burden, as a long list of do's and don'ts that take control of your life, not allowing you to breathe, and making you a slave to the halakha. A very heavy yoke indeed. Judaism can sometimes even appear to be ugly and cruel. And sadly, this is often the face that many people see and experience today. But I hope that that suffocating image isn't the impression of the mitzvah that your mother and I give you. Because for us, that's not our experience of Judaism. For us, Judaism is about living a joyous life, a life full of meaning, excitement, happiness, and fulfillment. The Torah was not just given on Mount Sinai, it continues to be given every single day. It is an ongoing revelation from God. The Torah is not just a book that we read. It isn't even a book that we learn. It's a book that we interact with, something that we connect to. Therefore, Yoni, when you learn the Torah, I don't want you to just be asking the question, what's bothering Rashi? I want you to be asking the question, what's bothering me? Because the Torah has to be relevant to you. Because it's only when you interact with it that you can appreciate its beauty and its ongoing relevance in your life. And the more we put into it, Yoni, the more we can get out of it. Because Judaism gives us powerful and practical ways to connect, to express our love, and to feel loved. It gives us approaches for living a more complete, joyful, and meaningful and enlightened life. A life of purpose and abundant pleasure. And Yoni, we have many beautiful gifts and precious gifts in our lives. And these are people who we can look to and gain inspiration from. I want to mention a few. First of all, some special guests who have come from abroad. First of all, Maureen and Ellen Yoni and Linda and Russell Turnbull. We haven't seen you that much since our wedding, so it was nice to spend the time with you this weekend. Kate Benayan, Helen's childhood friend from Chibok, and her son Moshe. It's so nice and incredible that you came specially for this. My good friends Freddie and Alexi Clarty flying in for just a couple of days. It means so much to me that you were here. Dawn and Malcolm Rowland. Dawn, on Friday night you said something about speaking from the perspective of a non-family member. Well, Dawn, Helen and I both count you as our family, and we're delighted that you are here. Uncle Michael, who really is, I'm so happy he's here, he never misses a family occasion. I'm so pleased that you were here. I only wish that your other two siblings could be here, and I will say a few words about them in a few minutes. I also specifically want to mention your aunts. First of all, my sister Sarah. She spent all 3 Friday nights that Safta was in hospital with her. Now, being in hospital on Friday nights is the hardest night. You can't pop down to the shops, you can't switch on the computer, watch TV, you're just stuck there. And she wasn't there on Friday night because she drew the short straw. She chose those nights because of her love, dedication, and devotion to Safta. Auntie Ritty too, she has been flying backwards and forwards from America to England to look after Safta, trying to balance her family needs, becoming a grandmother again, and caring for Safta. And finally, Auntie Rafaela. Okay, you had possibly the hardest job of all, because you were in, as Saba said as Danny said on Shabbos, you were in the house all day and all night. You were organising all the hundreds of little things that needed to be done, doctor's appointments, driving them back and forwards to the hospital, keeping us all informed, and at the same time taking care of your own family, the business, and again, also at the same time becoming a grandmother. Thank all of you for taking up care of Mummy and Daddy. I am very proud to be your kid brother. Thank you also for bringing your husbands, Johnny, Suri, and Alan, and all the kids, Mikey, David, and Avital Mendelssohn, and Daniel, Eli, Shalom, and the Moyes. And also Adina, Eli Rashbas. Adina is my niece, and she had a baby just 2 weeks ago, and we really did not expect her to be with us here tonight. But she's here, and I'm so happy for her. Yona, you mentioned Uncle Dan. You know, in many ways you are very much like him. You're both left-handed, you're both very good at maths, and you're both very clever. In fact, when you were younger, Uncle Johnny always used to call you Uncle Dan because you resembled him so much. You're also very kind, gentle, and thoughtful to others, just like him. Whenever you go to the children's shir after davening, you always make sure you come back with a biscuit and sweet for David and Safit. And when you get a treat, you always worry that others should get their fair share too. And when it comes to having a sleepover, Grandma and Grandpa, you're always happy to volunteer to go last. Because you see beyond having things straight away, and because you understand the values of patience and restraint. We're very proud of you, Yona, and I'm sure that Uncle Dan is too. While speaking of uncles, I have to mention my Uncle Yosef. Uncle Yosef, I never recall him missing a family simcha, but unfortunately, he cannot be here. He's far too ill to be with us tonight. I ask all of you to keep him in mind. Shmuel Yosef and Cleo Chaya. Please keep him in mind in your prayers and ask the Kodesh Baruch Hu to give him a Shalom. Now to Mom and Dad. Many people often complain about their in-laws. I can't. Helen doesn't let me. No, because I don't have any complaints at all. Both of you have always been very loving and generous to me, and have accepted me into your lives from the outset. Both of you reached the heights of your careers with a finesse and a kindness and a sensitivity to others, maintaining a sense of modesty and humility throughout. Whenever you come, you play with the kids for hours, you take them for walks, and you have them stay with you one at a time so that each of you can give them their individual attention. No wonder the kids and their friends are always excited when you come to visit. Thank you both for being such wonderful role models for my children. Yona, you know, you have a Saba who is a true hero of the Jewish people. Coming out from the ashes of Eastern Europe, Daddy, you have single-handedly rebuilt your life and have created an incredible legacy. With your first steadfast faith in the Kodesh Baruch Hu and your knowledge as a Talmud Chacham, you are inspiration not just to us, but to countless numbers of Jews who come to hear your story and gain strength from you. We are so grateful to Hashem that you are well enough to be here with us this evening. Mommy, you are a pillar of strength. You are such a determined person who never gives up and knows how to fight for the causes that you believe in. Your natural wisdom, you always strive and you succeed. You have also a heart of gold and are someone who is so loving and caring, who puts family before all. You are a true inspiration for all of us. And Yona, of all the people that you have in your life, I don't think there's anyone who can compare to your mother. No one is more giving, sharing, caring, and wise like your mother. Helen, you are the cornerstone of this family, and you are what makes it work. I am so grateful to Kodesh Baruch Hu for making you my personal life coach. And so, Yoni, we have so much to be grateful to Hashem about. You come from a good place, not just the family that's here, also the schools you go to, also the incredible community in your Mount Shemesh, where you live. You have your whole life ahead of you. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu give you the wisdom and strength to make the right choices in your life. Yevarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha, ya'er Hashem panav elecha v'yichonecha, yisa Hashem panav elecha v'yasein lecha shalom. Please, will all of you enjoy the rest of this evening. Thank you very much.